You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, let's talk about the Patriots, all right? Now, you guys know if you've been watching the channel, I talked about the Patriots a lot last season, and, of course, throughout the Bill Belichick, Jerod Mayo hiring, and, of course, the demise of one Mac Jones in New England. Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but the New England Patriots are a dumpster fire. They're an absolute trash fire. And look, you've got New England radio already asking, is it too early to think about questioning Jerod Mayo's job? Now, I absolutely believe it's not too early. And I said he shouldn't have been hired to begin with. If I said if Robert Kraft did promise him the job, then the moment Mike Vrabel became available, or Jim Harbaugh, both, you owe it to your fan base to hire the most qualified coach, the best coach. And the Patriots decided to not do that, right? And it felt like a perfect fit. Vrabel played there. Very tight connections with the Crafts. It just made all the sense in the world. But they gave it to DEI Mayo, and that's where we're at. They're a dumpster fire. The Jaguars are still running on the Patriots defense. All right. And Jerod Mayo came out and called the team soft. Now, to a point, I've got no issues with that, except your team is a reflection of you. And the one thing I do know about last year's Patriots, the defense was pretty damn good. And now the wheels are falling off the defense. I will say this, somehow, some way, I think the Patriots may have gotten the quarterback right. I think Drake May might be the guy. I do. But again, are they going to put anything around him? Seriously, are they going to do anything? The offensive line is totally trash. There is no number one or number two receiver on this team. You've got a bunch of 3s and 4s. Some could argue 4s and 5s. I mean, honestly, you could argue that. So they took a horrible loss. I still did not understand why so many NFL, I guess, prognosticators were picking the Patriots this last weekend. I was like, really? I understand the Jaguars' record's not great, but I've got more faith in Doug Peterson. I certainly got more faith in that roster. That's a much better roster in Jacksonville than it is New England. And I didn't get it, and guess what? 32-16, I believe, was the final score. I never thought for once the Patriots would win that game. And I also didn't think the Jags were as bad as everybody was talking about either. So let's take a look at this. Jerod Mayo chose to be blunt about his team being in the middle of the pack in the run defense this year following the team's 6th straight loss, this time to the reeling Jacksonville Jaguars in London. Yeah, I mean, there's a world where Doug Peterson would have been fired after that game had he lost. Mayo called out his run defense as, quote, soft, after watching yet another running back have his way on the ground with Jaguars backup Tank Bigsby filling in for the injured Travis Etienne Jr., rushing for 118 on 26 for 2 touchdowns. There were times during the early window that the Jags simply handed the ball off instead of calling up passes for Trevor Lawrence. Patriots head coach Bill Belichick had many of the same guys on his defense this season, last season with New England in 2023, and they were the best run defense in the league. Ouch. So during his appearance on the Pat McAfee show, Belichick did not mince his words either when reacting to Mayo's, quote, soft comment. I'm kind of hurt for those guys because to call them soft, they're not soft. They were the best team in the league last year against the run. This is shots fired right at Mayo. It's shots fired, but it's also him just doing his job. You know, I mean, I do believe this is him sort of talking about the indictment of the job that Mayo is doing. But I don't know that he would blame Mayo. Probably blame the Crafts for having done this to begin with, right? Those guys went out there and did it even though we couldn't score many points offensively. I feel bad for the defensive players on that one because that's a tough group. So he's blatantly saying, nah, I don't agree with that. Mayo said they're soft football team across the board. We talk about what makes a tough football team. That's being able to run the ball, being able to stop the run, and being able to stop kicks. Well, it did not end there. He was on the Let's Go podcast with Tom Brady, and this is also what Belichick said.
Hey, Coach, have you ever had a soft team?
Look, I think when you criticize your team publicly like that, it doesn't always go over well. Not every coach has their own style, and maybe sometimes that can be effective and all. But ultimately, I always felt like when the team played bad, that was my responsibility too. I mean, we might have had bad playing, but we had bad coaching that led to bad playing. So I think it's always best to kind of take a look at yourself and do what you can do to help the team, and then if you have constructive criticism as a coach, that's your job. But I don't know. Last year the Patriots led the league in rushing defense yards per carry, number 1 in the league. This year they're 26th or whatever it is. It's the same players. I don't think that those players on defense are soft, but they haven't stopped the run very well this year.
Okay, well, they haven't stopped the run very well this year. He's not wrong. I mean, I said a minute ago he took a shot. Well, I don't know if he took a shot as much as, look, the run defense is just bad. It's horrible with mostly the same guys. I understand they got some injuries over there. That's great. But was Mayo ready for this job? That was my question with the hiring to begin with. He wasn't he hadn't been the DC there. I mean, let's be real. Was he ready for the job? And after Kraft came out with the way that he chose him, years ago, blah, 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 having some enlightened moment, that's concerning, not going through the actual hiring process. I think it's a dumpster fire already. I think people ought to be questioning Mayo and talking about his job openly. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of comparisons between this team and Houston. David Coley, anybody? Lovie Smith, anybody remember those one and dones in Houston? I mean, that's sort of what it feels like now. I think Mayo's safe because I don't think Kraft has got the cojones to actually get rid of Jerod Mayo, even though there's going to be good candidates out there. And oddly enough, I mean, look, the Eagles and the Cowboys, they're going to be staring right at Belichick, and so are the Jaguars. There's a world where Bill is the number 1 head coaching candidate out there, which is sort of ironic. But I don't think Mayo will be let go. I don't. I think Kraft has got some kind of a personal investment in Mayo, and which if I'm a Patriots fan, that scares me to death because there's a couple of ways this could go. You could become the Browns, and how bad that situation has been. And here's maybe the line to really draw. You could become the Cowboys, a team that won a hell of a lot of Super Bowls that has not sniffed a Super Bowl in nearly 30 years or around 30 years. And if I'm a Patriots fan, that is very, very concerning. I still look, Vrabel will be available in the off season. So if it's me and I know I got a good young quarterback, for whatever reason, Elliott Wolf still hasn't gotten any wide receivers. Well, we know one thing about Mike Vrabel. He cherishes big-time wide receivers because of how angry he got when A.J. Brown got traded. He knew their offense was tanked when he did that. And it was tanked when they did that in Tennessee. And, of course, we've all seen that video of Vrabel pissed off during the draft that they just traded away an all-world wide receiver, and he's been just that for the Eagles. I don't know. I've got no problems with what Belichick. He's getting paid to do this stuff and give us critique, and Honestly, I think Belichick's been a lot better in the media than I thought he was going to be, although he was good on that NFL Network thing. So tell me what you think. Is it too early to talk about DEI Mayo's job? I don't think he was qualified to get the job to begin with. I don't know why he was promised the job. And you had better candidates available, and you will have better candidates available when the season is over. What is the Kraft's priorities? I don't know. It feels very rudderless. There's a real lack of direction with the Patriots right now. And if I'm a Patriots fan, which I kind of am, it looks bad. It really does. The one place I didn't think this team would have to worry much would be the defense. And it is a trash fire on defense. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.